Hey, Tally. You okay? You've been waiting by the mailbox for hours now.
Yeah, hi Evertel. Seriously, I'm expecting a really important delivery and I don't want to miss it, but it's taking ages. I've had to unsign for raid because I've just been stuck here waiting.
Really? We're supposed to be running guild socials through Curve tonight.
Yeah, I know, and I feel terrible that I won't be there, but such is life.
You're literally the worst guildmate. I said it looks like you've got mail.
Ah, so I have. Wow, I really have.
What is it?
Well, it's something I've been waiting for a very long time. I mean, technically since last BlizzCon, but in reality, kind of my whole life.
Oh my god, it isn't.
It is! Evertel, say hello to our brand new, beautiful Jaina statue. Huh.
What do you think of it, Taliesin?
I mean, yeah, it's great. I mean, it's exquisitely made. Shit, look at the detail on that leather pouch.
Oh yeah, wow, the pouch is... Yeah, that is really detailed. Is there anything you don't like about it?
Not really, no. I mean, well, I guess if I had to be really nitpicky, then maybe at a push, perhaps the face, I guess, isn't quite what I expected.
Yeah, I agree. I'm just not sure if it quite captures Jaina as I imagined her.
It certainly is a unique take, yes. Still, I can't wait to have it on display in a prominent position in our flat for the rest of our lives.
Yeah. Hey, Tally, shall we just transmorph her beacon her into a cool raid boss instead?
Oh, I don't know, Evertel. We got in trouble for that in last week's intro with the big spoiler.
Oh, I'm sure it'll be fine. She'll just turn into Blackhand or Elisand or...
Quick, put up a spoiler warning!
That was a close one, but I think we got away with it again.
Knowledge is power.
Hello, Internet, and welcome to another episode of the Weekly Reset, Taliesin and Evertel's Wondrous Wisdom Show. And look, we make a real effort on this show to present you, the viewer, with the facts. We try our best to see events from as many perspectives as possible and to not misrepresent happenings in the world of Warcraft. Basically, we don't want to lie to you. And so let me begin this episode by saying, I can't lie to you, it has not been the busiest or most exciting week in WoW news of 2019 so far. We're all just basically sitting around waiting for the 8.2 PTR at this point, a PTR that we don't think is going to be hitting anytime in the next week. And yet, even on a quiet week, there's still some really important in-game news that you need to know about, like the start of the Mythic Dungeon International Esports Bonanza as the best players in the world fight to win a share of that money that you paid to buy the Transmorpher Beacon toy. Some really hot WoW Classic information, as well as the new Warcraft 1 and 2 non-Blizzard ports. And we also want to spend some time looking forward to patch 8.2 as well, and reminding ourselves of those features that Blizzard have told us to look forward to, so that when that new PTR does hit, we can judge for ourselves whether they've actually delivered. And when you put it like that, then it doesn't seem like a quiet week at all, really, does it? Especially if on top of all of that, you open with a completely different story that you haven't even mentioned yet. Because this week, Blizzard finally released the new Jaina statue to the online store for pre-order. And yes, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, but Taliesin, you just gave a rundown of all of the actual news that there is to talk about this week, which sounded great. And now you're going to waste my time by talking about a big, expensive toy that doesn't even fund esports, though. And yes, you're absolutely right. That's a very fair point. To which my response is, tough shit, because it's my show and we're going to talk about Jaina. Okay, fine. If you really don't want to, then you can skip ahead to the time on screen now, and there's also a clickable link in the description below. Ha! Get wrecked, losers, because as you've just found out, that skip lands you right back here, suckers. Because you can't skip the Jaina talk, because did I mention it's my show? Yes, BlizzCon 2018's centerpiece was a life-size statue of Jaina Proudmoore, just like Sylvanas and Illidan before her, and just like Sylvanas and Illidan, that statue has now been reproduced into a home-size collector's piece, which is now available for pre-order at a cost of $350, or your regional equivalent. Now, I can talk from a place of some authority with these statues, as I'm the proud owner of the Illidan version, and I can tell you that these things are effing ridiculous. They are huge, cumbersome, outrageously heavy. Like, if Illidan really did sacrifice everything, then obviously everything doesn't cover all of the pies, because getting him to the top of that bookcase was the single most traumatic experience of my entire life. And ever since we saw that Jaina statue under the lights at BlizzCon, I've been looking forward to making her the most traumatic experience of my life. I'm sure it will come as no surprise to you, internet, that I pre-ordered the shit out of this statue literally the minute I saw that it had gone on sale. And as I smashed that confirm purchase button and said goodbye to 300 quid that I will never see again, I did it with a big old grin on my face, because I was excited to have a big, beautiful Jaina of my very own, and that was a feeling that was definitely echoed on the forums, where players were just as thrilled as I was to finally be able to get their hands on a sculpture so detailed, so dynamic, so dripping with character and meaning, and overall just the kind of exquisite craftsmanship that you can only find in a no, it was a shit show, obviously. That face, yikes! I don't like that face at all. But that face has male Asian face. For 350 USD, I'd expect to recognize her face. I was ready and willing to buy this until I saw her face. Yuck! Sorry, it is not how Jaina looks like this, so who is statue? I don't know any self-respecting fan would actually pay money for this. Oh, hi, I don't know if I'm especially self-respecting. In fact, I know I'm definitely not, but I'm definitely a fan. So why am I so happy to have spent 2 years worth of WoW subscription on something that looks like it's crossed between a really bad looking Asian transsexual and Michael Jackson? Okay, I get it. We don't like the face, mostly because it doesn't look like Jaina, and that's perfectly fair enough, you know. If you drop a wedge on a Jaina statue, you want it to look like Jaina. I totally get that. I mean, the detail and quality of the build looks to be up to this range's usual standards, which I can vouch for personally, seeing as I own other sculptures from this range. But yeah, when it comes to shit like whether a face looks like I want it to or not, that's about as subjective as it gets. So all I can offer you here are my own personal feelings on the matter, because I'm a YouTuber and that's what we do, whether you like it or not. And I'll be the first to admit that one of the reasons I might have a slight difference of opinion on this to you is because I'm a Blizzard shill, massive clickbait shill, Blizzard shill man, obviously. He's at it again! He's at it again! But also because, unlike many of you perhaps, I'm not just going off of the pictures here, but also memory. Because I've seen this sculpture in real life, as close as you are to your monitor right now. And when I saw it in real life, it looked really shitting brilliant. And also it reminds me of the big version too, which I love just a bit too much. And I grant you, facially, it doesn't look like Jaina does in my dreams. I mean, in the game. Any of the faces that she has in game. But that's part of what I like about it, because I like seeing different interpretations of characters that I love. I mean, look, BFA trailer Anduin looks nothing like in-game Anduin, and I mean, seriously, comically, nothing at all, but I like both interpretations, even if I probably only date one of them. The brilliant Sylvanas sculpture looks nothing like her in-game model either. And yet, sometimes new interpretations don't work out. See, as an example, the very anatomically suspicious Heroes of the Storm Jaina, waddling down the street with her chest reaching any given destination 20 minutes before she does. Would you have preferred this Jaina's face, internet? Is this the face that you wanted? In an effort to create an ultra-realistic representation of a human character, something which the non-human Illidan and Sylvanas statues never had to face, they've given us a new Jaina. And you know, as far as I'm concerned, the more Jainas the merrier. And that's why I'm pretty happy to have this statue in my life, and why I bought it instantly. Obviously, your subjective opinion is just as relevant and important as mine, but excuse me if I don't concern myself too much with it, because I've got more pressing concerns, like where I'm actually going to put this stupid massive thing when it gets here. I'm thinking probably Evertel's side of the bed. But you'll be pleased to note that we do have some actual World of Warcraft game stuff to talk about today too, like Blizz firing up the official WoW Twitch channel to cover the first stage of the Mythic Dungeon International Time Trials. And look, usually I'm not too concerned with this stuff, but that's before I bought the Transmorpher Beacon toy from the cash shop with my real-life cash to pay for all of this shit. So it's frankly now my responsibility to keep tabs on all this shit to make sure they're not wasting my $10 on... Oh, come on! How much did those flaming shitting runes cost? This is my money you're throwing around now, Blizz. We could have got by with like half the amount of flaming runes. Hope you kept the receipts. Although, good money-saving thinking by not getting Sloot a tie. That was sneaky and I don't think anyone noticed. But seriously, I I always enjoy the MDI, mostly because after all of these years, it's a WoW esport that I can actually follow and enjoy, and the commentary team is genuinely extremely insightful and entertaining. And look, honestly, if you like prot warriors, or resto druids, or outlaw rogues, then shit, you need to tune into the MDI, okay? Because seriously, it is just a sea of brown, orange, and yellow every round of this competition so far. It's like a shit 70s living room decor catalogue. And yeah, there's an argument that this new mantra of bring the player, not the class, but then make sure the player switches to one of the very small handful of classes, oh, and make sure everyone is a night elf too, so they can just shadow meld through reaping, might be proof that the game isn't perfectly balanced at the moment, and that may not be super interesting from a spectator point of view. And this is probably a very reasonable point and a discussion that we're definitely not going to get into right now, because I do want this video to end at some point. But even if the comps are a bit samey at this early stage of the competition, there's at least a pleasingly diverse mix of established professional teams facing off against totally amateur groups of friends. We're still at the stage of the competition where I kind of think, hey, if I just worked hard enough and had friends who are much better than me, we could be there right now. It's cool. It's like the early stages of the FA Cup.
Blizzard announced that they are walking back plans to pause artifact knowledge increases this week as originally intended, and it will instead continue to rise for the next 4 weeks, meaning that you are going to need considerably less Azerite to hit that Heart of Azeroth level 50 ceiling by the start of 8.2. Bad news if you'd been saving emissary chests and island expedition mission hand-ins for this week and gave them in before this announcement, thinking you were getting maximum Azerite level bang for your buck. I mean, you still got as much bang as you thought you were going to get. It just turns out you could have gotten a whole lot more bang if you'd just lasted a bit longer. And honestly, isn't that the story of our lives? But yeah, good news for the rest of us who are going to reach the heady heights of level 50 on the Heart of Azeroth and unlock all those Azerite traits that little bit quicker, just in time for 8.2 to roll along and make unlocking Azerite armor traits something we just don't do at all anymore. More good news too around the loot in the upcoming Crucible of Storms mini-raid, as devs confirmed on Twitter that although the gear looted from these two bosses will be a slightly higher item level overall than in Battle for Dazar'alor, the item level cap will remain at 425, so you aren't going to be constantly running the instance hoping to win the Titanforge lottery and bag a 435 trinket. There had been a bit of confusion over this because the drops from the last boss, Unat, had been described as 425+, but Blizzard's tweet clarified that this meant the gear could warforge in later seasons. So again, once we're into 8.2, and yeah, it seems like every conversation we have right now does come back around to the upcoming, as yet entirely unseen or tested Rise of Azshara patch, doesn't it? Which is a bit annoying on one hand because, you know, we don't even have the best bits of patch 8.1.5 playable yet, but also really exciting because 8.2 has made a lot of promises and has a lot riding on it. It's not an exaggeration to say that for many players, 8.2 could make or break Battle for Azeroth and how it's remembered in the canon of WoW expansions. Or I guess that should be make or leave broken, really. If you are of the opinion that Battle for Azeroth needs saving, then it needs to be 8.2 that saves it. BFA so far is your Nakatomi Plaza, and Rise of Azshara is John McClane, breaking the rules and overcoming all the bad shit, even if it means destroying pretty much the whole building in the process. And Alan Rickman is probably in there somewhere too, which can't be a bad thing, so honestly, what are you even complaining about? And so, with the 8.2 PTR surely getting ready to hit any week, any day now, what are the promises that Blizzard have made? There's the promised fix to Azerite, making unlockable traits on the Heart of Azeroth the focus which you will collect and build up, rather than swap out every time you change a piece of Azerite armor. We've heard pretty much nothing about this since Ian first mentioned it, so I'm guessing it's pretty much all hands to the pump in the Heart of Azeroth dev room at the moment, and it wouldn't surprise me if we didn't get our first proper look at this until towards the end of the PTR cycle. And it's really important, so that's quite annoying. The main attraction is of course the new zone Nazjatar, home of Queen Azshara and her Naga for the last 10,000 years, which we essentially crash land onto when the sea opens up and exposes it for the first time. This is where much of the 8.2 war campaign will be based, with storylines that see each faction befriending a local race of non-Nagas and learn about this new landmass. This will involve a new bodyguard buddy who you will apparently level and complete quests for to progress, and a whole ton of repeatable content which sounds like it's introducing some new elements into the mix, like mini-events, multi-stage world quests, and PvP and PvE tower defense objectives. Blizzard say there should be something new to find here every day, and it's this repeatable day-to-day content that you feel Nazjatar is going to have to really nail if it's going to be the success we all want it to be. I already know the zones are going to look amazing. I already know there is a fair smattering of cool ocean-dwelling rewards on offer. It's the standard daily gameplay loop that is going to have to surprise me to really make this special. There's the new raid, of course, which will be arriving a few weeks after 8.2 launches, with 8 bosses of maybe underwatery Naga fun times, culminating in the long-awaited confrontation with Queen Azshara herself. And of course, Mechagon, a whole other area telling the story of the Mecha Gnomes, with its accompanying mythic mega dungeon, Mechagon, which is, you know, a bit like Karazhan. And Karazhan was great. Essentially a 5-man raid when it first came out, and hopefully this new instance will offer players the same sort of challenge. You've got your new island expeditions, new gnome and Tauren heritage armor, heroic war fronts, but no new war front, which kind of suggests to me that the team are quietly putting war fronts to bed, the new hide everything transmog rules, and the small matter of flying. Like, we know that we'll be able to fly in Kul Tiras and Znadalar in 8.2, but there have been hints from various devs that we may be able to fly in Nazjatar too, just like we could on the Broken Shore in 7.2. And then there's the small matter of 8.3. And look, I'm not even joking here, but once 8.2 is here, we're almost into the end game, and none of us know yet what that will be. By this stage in Legion, we'd known for ages that we were going to Argus, but the final chapter of this expansion is a lot more mysterious. And I want to know, damn it! Basically, despite all the justifiable excitement, there's still a lot of questions with this new patch, and I'm kind of nervous for the PTR to arrive. It feels like the stakes are pretty high, and you get the feeling much of the player base is going to be pretty unforgiving if any of these promised features do fall short in any way. I guess we'll be getting our first glimpse at the answers very soon.
But that's not all, Evertel. There's still loads to talk about, and it's your favourite topic, WoW Classic.
Oh yeah,
because you're excited about. Basically, what happens is every single day when we wake up in this house, I'll get up and I'll have a shower. I'll be making like breakfast, or because I make breakfast for Evertel every day, obviously.
Oh yeah.
And Evertel will come creeping out of the bedroom, and I'll hand her a cup of coffee, and she'll be like, "Is WoW Classic out yet?" And I'll be like, "Not yet, Evertel," and she'll be like, "Okay, fine. Wake me up when it's out," and then goes back to bed.
It's the first thing I think of in the morning, and the last thing I think of before I go to sleep. What can I say?
Quite often, the last thing I hear before I go to sleep is Evertel just going, "WoW Classic, WoW." No, but like genuinely, I am really excited for WoW Classic. Like it's getting nearer and nearer, and as it gets nearer and nearer, my excitement gets like respectively bigger and bigger as well. But we still don't know when the release date is going to be and things like that. But the topic that everyone's been talking about this week is spell batching.
Spell batching.
Now, I think the main thing to take away from this is everyone is basically really excited that the WoW Classic team are getting it right and are doing things that they like. And spell batching itself is a really weird thing. Like, I still not sure if I really understand it, but it basically the devs have succeeded in like replicating much worse servers than we have now. That's
what it sounded like to me, right? It's like that moment where you're playing a game and it stops and it lags for a minute, and then suddenly everyone's spells happen at once. Yeah, absolutely. If slightly smaller. So, like, there's a window of 20 milliseconds on today's servers where if spells happen within 20 milliseconds, they're counted as happening at the exact same time simultaneously. But back in vanilla WoW, the servers were, well, I guess 10 times worse, because there was a 200 millisecond window, which gives you a lot more time to make abilities that happen at different times simultaneous in the eyes of the game, which is what they've introduced into Classic WoW, and the Classic community are going wild. They love this stuff. I am the Classic community. Me too, and look how wild I am right now. I love it. And like that in itself is a good thing, because we want WoW Classic to be as good a representation of vanilla WoW as possible. So that's great. But the main thing I'm taking away from it is everyone has like loads of good vibes towards the Classic team at the moment. Yeah. Which is great. And like there's this kind of sense of surprise almost that they're actually trying to recreate vanilla WoW. I never thought I would hear the words good vibes and WoW Classic community. Seriously. Like, what's happening? But it made me think because you've got all like these like really influential kind of Classic creators and stuff coming out going, wow, the Classic team are killing it right now.
And like, it made me think of that video we made like a year and a half ago, where we were like, the WoW Classic team are going to kill it. Don't worry, like, it's going to be fine. And everyone was like, oh my god, I'm so worried about this. It's going to be so... And we were like, there was that Q&A where Ian said in the Q&A, it was the first Q&A after BlizzCon, I think, where they just fleetingly mentioned WoW Classic, and they were like, we know that vanilla means vanilla. And if that means like doing without a lot of the kind of quality of life improvements and just basic comfort that has come into the game since that, then so be it. And I took that to mean, don't worry about vanilla. It's gonna be fine. It's gonna, like, vanilla is vanilla. He went all Theresa May on that shit. You know.
Also, it's not like any of these game devs actually played vanilla, so what would they know?
The classic community are kind of coming round. Yeah. Like, they were very pleased when Blizz walked back most of the personal loot sort of rules recently as well. Still a lot of umming and ahhing about sharding.
Yeah.
In the opening couple of weeks, which I think is a fair enough point. I think it's like a valid thing to be worried about. We're just waiting for a release date now. That's what we want. We just want
waiting for that sweet, sweet release.
Yeah. Wow. Well, that's also the last thing I hear before we go to sleep.
I'm waiting.
That's also the last thing I hear before.
I'm
waiting. And going back even further than WoW Classic, just out of nowhere, this actually happened last week, but we don't have time to talk about it because I don't know if you saw, it was a half-hour episode of last week of just me talking while you were sunning yourself in bars. I mean, when you were working very hard.
I was working extremely hard.
I know, I saw the photos. There was you working very hard with a beer, and then there was you working very hard with a vermouth, and then there was you working very hard over a lovely dinner. Out of nowhere, pretty much, suddenly Warcraft 1 and 2 are available to play on modern PCs again.
Sweet.
Just like that, boom, hello, hi. But the interesting thing is, it's not Blizzard that have made this possible.
Is it GOG?
It's Good Old Games.
That's
what GOG stands for. Did
you know that?
I bet you didn't even know that.
I didn't know.
Do you know how I know you didn't know that?
How?
Because I didn't know that. Like, I've had GOG installed on my PC for like years and years and years. Because for me,
Good Old Game, that makes perfect sense.
For
given
me,
what
GOG is The Witcher 3.
service they provide.
Yeah, totally. Like GOG is the one that I only press when I want to play Witcher 3, which is not uncommon by any means. But it's like I often go, how do I play Witcher 3 again? GOG, what's GOG? You see, GOG, right? Okay, in where I'm from, is vernacular from someone who is from North Wales.
Oh.
It's slang for a North Walian, is a GOG. Have you played Warcraft 1 and 2?
I haven't actually.
Why not? It's there. It's like one. It'll be less than 1% of your system's memory. Install that shit and play it.
Heck yeah. I'm going to install it, and I'm going to play it on like the bajillion flights we have coming up this year.
Oh my goodness, yeah. Good luck if you try and play it, because it's hard work. Okay. Warcraft 1 in particular is hard work. And this is the thing, and lots of people going, why are GOG doing it? I don't understand. Ooh, don't. And it's because, like, the games aren't that good or long. They're not. Like, I'm sorry, like, at the time, they were brilliant, obviously, but Blizzard obviously has no interest in, like, remastering them.
I'll probably still play it.
For me, neither Warcraft 1 or 2 is as good as Rock and Roll Racing, in my opinion. It's just Rock and Roll Racing pisses on a lot of games, in fairness. Like,
that's fair.
Yeah. So an update for some important plans coming up in the next couple of weeks. There will not be an episode of the Weekly Reset. This very show that you're watching now will not be happening next weekend because we are in America. We're coming to America. And why are we coming to America, Evertel?
To watch my brother get married on top of a mountain.
At 7 a.m. 9 a.m.
9 a.m.
We have to get up at 7 a.m.
We have to get up at 7.
We have to climb a mountain.
We have to hike the mountain.
We have to ford a stream.
We do.
And then we have to watch them get married, which would be the good bit.
Yeah.
And then we have some lunch.
And then we come back down.
But it means we can't make the Weekly Reset next week. And there's also something we can't tell you about, which you will find out about the week after. So, but what it means is no Weekly Reset next week. But that doesn't mean you have to have had your fill of T&E. Oh, no. We can give you your T&E fix because I'm planning, maybe only one of them will happen. This is fair. Okay. But I'm planning 2 Taliesin talks for next week before we go away. How do you feel about that, eh?
I feel very good. I feel
you look like you feel
cautiously good. Optimistic.
Yeah, I'm kind of like cynically optimistic.
Okay.
As exciting as that, for those of you who like twitching and who like watching Twitch,
Heck yeah.
is that you will know, if you watch Twitch and you watch us on Twitch, you'll know that we've been streaming 3 times a week. We found out on Friday that we did make partner.
We got it.
We're like Twitch partners now.
Heck yeah.
I don't really know what that means.
No, we have like emotes and
Yes, we've worked very hard on the
Worked
emotes.
very
If this video is late, it's because A, my parents are coming in about an hour, and also because really we spent all our time just making emotes for Twitch. So we're
We
very
did.
proud to share those with you. And Monday stream, which I think I might start like an hour early at 3 p.m. UK time. So see what that means for you, because we just had our clocks changed.
They just changed.
I got an hour less sleep.
Oh.
I went to bed at 4 a.m. instead of 3 a.m. today. 3 p.m. UK time on Monday, we will be kicking off our first ever partnered stream. So you can join us. You can be in there at the ground
Check it
floor
out.
and check out our emotes.
Yeah.
I mean, that's basically all it is, isn't it?
There's
is
a
that
little,
like that's
there's
literally?
emotes. There's like
Oh,
a little
it's ad free
subscriber
now.
badge.
Ad free.
If you're a subscriber.
Oh, is it?
Yes.
Oh, I clicked because when I clicked the button that said make it ad free, I thought that was for everyone.
It's for subs.
I'm so sorry. I giveth and I taketh away. Or I thought I taketh away, and
But
then I
you
giveth
actually
back.
give it, yeah.
So we'll be really excited to have you join us for our Taliesin Talks videos and also for our streaming. And we're going to stream Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday before we go away on Thursday.
Amazing.
Oh, it's exciting though, isn't it?
Good times.
What exciting time. I've bought a stream deck.
Oh my god, well that's clearly the highlight of
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
The Stream Deck is totally worth all of the work.
That's another
going
reason
into
this
the
video
Twitch
is late,
channel.
because I was basically, because you can program the keys to have
Oh
like
my
pictures
God,
of your
it's
face on.
outrageous.
So basically all the keys have pictures of my face on now.
Yeah.
Once I found out you could put my face on it, I was sold.
Is it all just like little fragments of your face that make up one big face?
Why didn't I think of that?
You should have just done that.
I feel like we're just shilling all of our platforms right now. Buy our
I'm a
t-shirts.
professional.
While we're here, like since we're shilling, let's properly shill. Buy our t-shirts. We've got a US store and an EU store.
Some
you can
people
buy,
don't know
You
that.
can buy t-shirts that say it
We
was a
talk
shit
about
show,
it
obviously on it.
So little
I know,
that many people don't know that we actually have merchandise.
It's true. Every time someone buys one of our t-shirts, whenever we retweet someone who's gone like, "Oh, I got my new T&E t-shirt" or something,
And we're like,
all the
"What's
responses like,
this?"
"Oh, I would pay so much money for
Someone
one of these."
needs to make one of these.
yeah, it's like, and we're sitting there like, ding 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 ding.
We just need to do
Ding,
better.
ding, 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 ding.
There's nothing wrong
Sad clown.
with promoting your stuff if it's good, right?
Yeah, if it's good.
If it's good. Well, yeah, that's where we get into trouble.
That's enough shilling.
Okay.
Thank you for joining us today. If you like this video, don't thank us. I'm going to shill for our patrons now.
Oh, God.
Thank our patrons who give their actual real life money to make these videos happen. And seriously, guys, thank you. You're the best. Without you, there would be a whole lot less Taliesin and Nevertell. So thank you, because I like it when there's Taliesin and Nevertell.
too.
If you didn't like it, downvote the shit out of it. Remember, my name is Slootbag. No tie, Slootbag. Wait.
Oh.
My name is Slootbag. I can't even pretend.
no.
My name is Taliesin from me.
And me, Evatel.
Until next time. Cheerio.